Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to look at some of the latest news surrounding what's going on in crypto world with this looming U.S. debt crisis continuing as the politicians in the United States continue to battle out how to deal with the United States debt. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell so you can be notified when my new videos come out. And also, if you haven't checked it out, I do have a video, it's way back on my channel on Bitcoin Pizza Day, because that is today the first crypto transaction made with 10,000 Bitcoins. For 2 pizzas, actually. The details are all in that video. I'll put a link in the description below directly if you want to check that out as well. So what's going on right now? Well, it's going to be a tough week, I think. A lot of inflation data coming out. We've got the FOMC meeting minutes from the earlier FOMC meeting on where the Fed stands in terms of raising interest rates, which I think they're done. And I think in June, we're going to see a pause. And that is certainly going to be helpful in terms of this continuing crisis. But before that, we've got the debt ceiling, and the politics are rampant right now, and how all of that plays out and even spills into crypto as well. So politics and crypto are beginning to intertwine a little bit more. So let's go ahead and let's get right into the news, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So we'll start here looking at the Bitcoin chart. Yeah, the Bitcoin pretty much played out exactly how I thought it would work, with this head and shoulders formation here, and then followed by a dip. The dip didn't quite come down to 25.2, which was my target line. Doesn't mean Bitcoin may not still challenge that, but it's been here almost 2 weeks now of sideways trading since that drop back here on the 10th of May. So that's what we're looking at, is this sideways trading is boring. And here's Dogecoins after its drop here, 2 weeks of just sideways trading. So that's what we have right now that we're facing. This is accumulation period again. That's what we call this, trying to think positive and not see any more huge drops like we saw back here back in March, where we saw Dogecoin back down to 6.5 cents. Could we see Dogecoin drop back below 7 cents again and get some 6.9 cent Doge? We could. That could certainly still happen. So what's going on with this U.S. budget talks, and how is that related to crypto? Well, with Joe Biden was over in Japan for the G7 conference, and he had some closing remarks there. And this is what he said. "Let me be clear, I'm not going to agree to a deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting food assistance at risk for nearly 1 million Americans." So I don't know specifically what that part is dealing with, because I don't think there is any direct crypto relationship, although in some of the drafts for a new bill, there is some language being crafted regarding crypto. But that's usually what happens with these big bills, is the politicians just put in a bunch of other stuff there and just see what they can get. And Joe Biden here, I mean, he's just reading off whatever they give him. So I don't think he actually knows much about crypto, but the people that work with him are that write his speeches put all of this stuff in. So that's what that is about. Meanwhile, Janet Yellen says more bank mergers are likely, and bank merger is the new term for bailout or banks going bankrupt. So we could still continue to see that. A lot of small to mid-sized regional banks are still having liquidity challenges. They don't have the money. If there's a run on the bank, they run out of money. So we could still see that happening. I don't think Silicon Valley Bank was the last one. There still could be more coming. And meanwhile, we have some our own challenges in the crypto industry, and that has to do with wallets. I made a video last week on Ledger and my take on the Ledger wallet challenges that we now face. I still support the Ledger Nano S. I'm not doing a firmware update. I'm keeping the Ledger Nano S as it is, and I think it's fine. And all of this is just, I don't know, I think it's just best to stay away with it. But Charles Hoskinson has a point here. He says social contracts shouldn't be broken. So that's kind of a fancy way of saying, look, you guys promised safety and security in a hardware wallet. So why do you continue to introduce things that break that and challenge that security that we bought into your company for and your products for that security? It doesn't make sense. But from the company's point of view, I can see they're trying to increase revenue. This whole idea of Ledger Live and Bluetooth and all of these things to try and make the company move toward a more user-friendly environment for the future crypto investors who come in and they don't want to deal with the hardware wallet and all this. They want a sort of ease of use. But with ease of use comes a loss of security. That's right. So we'll see how all of that plays out. But going forward, that could continue to be a challenge. Last week, there was the Bitcoin conference. And one of the big speakers there was the presidential candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who talked about Bitcoin specifically in relationship to CBDCs. And he is a pro-Bitcoiner, and you can actually donate to his campaign through his website with Bitcoin. So having a crypto-friendly person in the White House would be good for the industry. Got a long way to go for RFK Jr., but certainly that is starting to get a little more mainstream discussions about cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, we've got Dogecoin and Litecoin, which have their own blockchains, and we now see Ordinals being attached to the small little blocks on these chains, which is, this craze started on Bitcoin, but it has now brought Dogecoin and Litecoin into the picture, and it's kind of clogging up the network a little bit. We certainly saw that with Bitcoin, and fees on Bitcoin were going up with BRC20, and now there is LRC20 and DRC20, and DRC20 on the Dogecoin network. Just like Satoshi in Bitcoin, the users use what they call sheaves, the smallest unit of Dogecoin, to inscribe tokens into the Dogecoin network. Patrick Lauder, core developer of Dogecoin, told a news agency this week that something like this project cannot become a real feature due to the lack of thought put behind it. Further mentioned, due to the broader market impact, the hype will cool off. Growing pressure on Dogecoin will cause this to die quickly. That's typically how some of these work. I would prefer to see someone create a layer 2 on Dogecoin and have all of those things happen on a layer 2. That keeps the Dogecoin blockchain from getting clogged up. I mean, that's what we see happening a lot with much of projects being built on Ethereum. And I think that would be good for Dogecoin as well. But again, Ordinals, Litecoin, and Dogecoin, activity on the blockchain, that is great, but we saw the price. The price doesn't do anything. The price is just going sideways while all this activity is going on. So it doesn't really change the price at all. And what we see happening in Dogecoin is, with these ordinals on Dogecoin, this new protocol called Doginals. The first I've heard of that term. That's not really out there. So, but finding more utility, for Dogecoin, I think is good. And we'll see how that plays out and whether that continues to be a thing or not. Meanwhile, the Memecoin, meme token really it continues. And, Pepe price prediction. Can Pepe break through $1? I mean, this kind of stuff is just ridiculous to put this out there. It's just impossible for that to happen. Completely ridiculous. But yet these authors still write this crap. It just, oh well. But there are still good projects going forward. Altcoins could be ready for an up move. And so this is the accumulation period for different types of projects. And the one that I had talked about a couple weeks ago, that I hope you guys were listening about, was Render. And yes, Render has continued to see an uptick in its price. And especially over the weekend, saw a good gain. Here is the current Render chart here. And so I'm up 25% on Render since I bought in just a couple weeks ago. So instead of everything going sideways, you do see some positivity happening in projects, and Render has been good there. But Bitcoin volatility, I don't know. Right now there's this sideways trading. There's still a lot of FUD in the market. We still have what's going to happen with the debt ceiling crisis, but there is a good chance that gets resolved. The next FOMC meeting pauses interest rate hikes, and we see what some say sell in May, go away. This could be one of those years where you don't do that, and we do see some positive gains happening over the summer. So we'll keep that in mind and look forward to some good positive trading. So where this all trades from here, we shall see. Again, I still think there are some great opportunities with particular projects, which we saw with Render, and there are others as well. So accumulation period, that's what this is. There's still kind of a bearish market, even though there have been gains in many coins since the beginning of 2023. This is the time where, yes, it's kind of boring, and this up and down trading, especially when it starts getting down a little bit more, people start getting worried. But the long-term picture is, a year or two from now, we're going to be looking back at this like, I should have bought more here. Again, not financial advice, but I tell you what I'm doing, and I have been accumulating. So that's just, I think that's where the gains are made, and not the short-term stuff, and really not the gambling on the meme tokens. You might hit one every now and then, but you're going to lose 9 others. So again, I stay away from that. I'm out of that business, and just looking at good cryptocurrency projects that have utility and are looking forward to those future gains. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this looming debt crisis and where you think the crypto market will go, as well as whatever projects you're investing in. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.